Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Nicole West. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and an unfortunate, kind of recent expert on all things narcissism. I'll tell y'all all about that at a later date, but I wanted to jump on real quick and kind of talk a little bit about some of the traits of narcissistic personality disorder. So let me start this by saying just because somebody has traits that resemble narcissism does not necessarily mean that they would be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. There's a whole list of criteria that you have to meet in order to become diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, but that does not mean that you cannot exhibit some of the traits or some of the behavioral patterns. And so I want to talk a little bit about some of those today. So, one of the most obvious ones might be kind of that really inflated ego, right? These are people who are not only just arrogant or braggadocious, but these are people who think that they are like superior to the rest of us. They think that they are special. You know, they might feel like I can only associate with people who are on my level, right? Or you might hear stories of like, I was in the airport one day and like, God, everybody just kept staring at me and everybody was looking at me like they must have thought I was somebody famous, right? Like those are the kinds of stories you might hear from somebody like this. And so they just have this really huge inflated ego that is just on a whole nother level. One of the other traits is a lack of empathy. So these people have no ability to put themselves in your shoes, anybody's shoes for that matter, except for their own. The only thing that matters is how they feel, right? They don't care necessarily about how you feel. They don't have the self-awareness to be cognizant of how other people feel. And honestly, they really don't care, y'all. Like they don't care. They don't care. So what this looks like is, you know, they may do something to you on a Monday. You may turn around and do the same exact thing to them on Tuesday. And literally, sis, the world has to stop because how dare you do that to me, right? So you might end up being really confused, like, but you just did that to me yesterday. So what they're going to say is, well, that was different, or that didn't happen, or you're overreacting, you're being dramatic. That's not how it went down, right? They're going to gaslight TF out of you and might have you be like, did I interpret that wrong? Like maybe I'm losing my mind. Maybe that didn't happen that way. Don't let them do it to you. You know what you saw, you know what you heard, you know what you experienced, and they are master manipulators, so they are going to be great at gaslighting. So, lack of empathy, gaslighting, inflated ego. One of the other ones is the extraordinary need for attention. They're basically attention whores, y'all. They have to have that validation from people, the compliments, the accolades, all the, you know, attention that they can get. You know, like most of us have, we don't need that much validation, right? But these people are insatiable when it comes to attention. They have to be complimented, loved, adored, right? They love when they do things that people recognize. Oh my gosh, you're so amazing. You're so great. You're so nice. You're so generous. You're so this, you're so that. You're so funny. You're so great to be around, right? And so that's why a lot of these people are super charming because they've had to learn how to be deceivingly so. And they just have a huge need for attention. That is why they go from relationship to relationship, friendship to friendship, because once you stop showing them the attention that they want and need, they're going to move on to the next ASAP. And you better believe that they probably already had the next set up because they are always anticipating this person's going to eventually stop meeting my attention needs. And so I need to just garner some attention over here just in case. So these people have a huge need for attention, and it's never satisfied. They just move from one to the next, to the next, to the next. They basically are kind of leeches, and they use people, which is unfortunate. The last one that I want to talk about is they have a lot of repressed insecurities. And so they are deeply, deeply insecure people, which is also why they need that validation constantly. But because they are so insecure, they do not have the ability to take any kind of accountability for what they have done or said or did to somebody else, right? This might look like projection. It might look like deflection. It might look like defensiveness. Projection is essentially them telling you that you did something to them that they actually did to you, right? If you, like we were saying, if you did something to them, they did something to you on a Monday, and then you do the same thing, they don't have the ability to kind of reflect on that. But projection is, oh, you're out here cheating, or you're out here doing this, or you're out here doing that. When in fact, what they are telling you likely is that they are out there cheating. They are out there doing X, Y, and Z, but they are projecting it onto you. So pay attention to it. I'm just saying, pay attention to it. The other thing is, if any kind of criticism, those insecurities flare up real quick, right? If you try to give them any kind of constructive feedback, constructive criticism, it does not feel constructive to them. It feels terrible. And they may become really defensive. They may become really angry at you because how dare you point out something that I need to work on, right? I am perfect. It is you. You're the problem. Everybody else is always the problem. So these people typically do not get diagnosed. Why? Because they don't go to therapy. Why? Because ain't nothing wrong with them. It's y'all that's the problem. It ain't them. It's everybody else. And so everybody else needs to go to therapy, not me, because I'm good. I'm fine. I'm perfect. There's nothing wrong with me. Their insecurities do not allow them to see anything wrong with them. And so they typically do not go to therapy, which means they don't get diagnosed. So I want to talk a little bit about this, y'all. This is a huge problem. I feel like it is an epidemic because there are a lot of people out there who are running around harming other people with these personality traits. And so I want us to dig into it. I want us to put it on the table. I want us to talk about tips and tools and strategies to work, to use to either get out of this relationship or to, if you can't get out of it for whatever reason, how to kind of maintain your sanity and to be okay while you have to deal with the narcissist, because they can be really damaging, debilitating, harmful, downright evil people. I know firsthand, unfortunately. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But thank you for joining me today. I really, really appreciate you being here. And I will see y'all on the next video. Bye.